back. Bronze Bootcamp Game 3 here this morning on a Saturday. Beautiful Saturday.
The final showdown.
It is. My name is Haberdashing. I'm joined here by Frostbite.
Hello.
We're going to be commenting you today for Bronze Bootcamp. All the players here are between level 30 and Silver 5. We are here to watch the games, spectate, comment, so that later on you can come back, watch the games, and learn the mistakes that you did so you can improve on them later on. This is all done through the Trinity Force podcast. If you want to check them out, go to www.trinityforcepodcast.com. You can check out all the different podcasts there, the three that are currently there, the T-Force proper, the LCS Rundown, and the Oz LOL podcast, as well as in 2 weeks, a brand new podcast can be up there for you guys called the Four Wards Podcast. And it's going to be sort of like the Bronze Bootcamp, in which we are going to help you move forward in League. I hope you got that. Be looking forward to that. You can always, there's also all the information for Battle Arena and Bronze Bootcamp. We have a sign-up sheet that goes live every week to sign up for Bronze Bootcamp. If you want to be a part of it for next week, that'll be open for you. So let's go ahead. We'll get into picks and bans. Oh, hold on. Sorry. One more thing to say. There were some issues last game with one of the players, and we want to say, as much as we love to help you guys out here, the number one thing we ask is to please, don't be toxic. Please, this is just an environment to get away from the negative environment that is solo queue. So we want you guys to all work together to have that positive environment, so we can just come here, have some fun, and learn about the game. So if you see someone in Bronze Bootcamp or Battle Arena, God.
What's going on?
Chaos, you're a dick. Jesus Christ. Chaos Perfected is too fucking nice. He messaged me, he said, yeah, I just donated $50 to the podcast, and then he gives me a fucking skin. You asshole. God damn. Anyways, just... yeah, if you see negativity or people flaming the game, let me know. We'll try to talk to them, because we do not tolerate that at all here. So, let's get in game here. Picks and bans, what's going on?
I'm noticing Katarina once again showing her face in the Bronze Bootcamp here. Probably the number one most banned champion in the Bronze Bootcamp. I see more, I think the common theme is a lot of snowbally assassins. Obviously, we see Kat and Zed and Fiora to some extent.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Blitzcrank I do like being banned. He's sort of coming back into that really prominent role in his support. And he is really kind of can be difficult to deal with if you're not on top of your game in the bot lane. So just banning him out, I think, is a fine pickup. Fine ban, I should say.
Alright, so we're going to be seeing a Swain.
Yeah, Swain. Oh, and Vi. Didn't touch on that. Vi not being banned. Definitely, there's no junglers that are being banned. Holy crap.
Yeah, last game we had Vi, Jarvan, and Rek'Sai.
Yeah, that's banned. Every game is solo queue now. Just ban out all the junglers, but there's none being banned this time. How about that? So I definitely would, pick up Vi and those guys right off the bat. Right. So besides that, another common ban, Ahri being picked up right away for Keyboard Cat.
Meow.
She's just really strong in the mid lane. And she's
very versatile.
There's not a whole lot of very bad matchups for Ahri. And yeah, she's very versatile, can roam, can shove waves, has sustain built into her kit, huge amounts of mobility and hard CC. She works out well in the mid lane.
Certainly.
So besides that, Maokai and Corki being locked in. And I'm going to assume it will be the top lane Maokai and the 80 carry Corki, but yeah, it's going to be 80 carry Corki.
Yeah, I'm still interested in seeing how the rest of these picks shape up before we get too deep into the analysis. Obviously, some of the things Haber's already mentioned by a very strong jungler right now in the right hands. But honestly, if there's one message I can say is that play who you're comfortable with and play who you feel confident with. Just because Bjergsen plays so and so on this stream doesn't necessarily mean it's the one you have to pick.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, I think jungle is one of those positions you can get away with playing someone you're not exactly comfortable on, and especially if it's someone like Vi, where it just makes the jungle clear or complete a total cakewalk.
True. I mean, I guess the example there is more applicable to someone like Lee Sin, for instance.
Okay. Yeah, that'd definitely be an example. So,
all right. So, I think we're seeing a bit more mix of damage and tankiness than the last game.
Where it's the huge front line. Oh, boy. So, let's see. Maybe a Shaco. I don't know. It's one of those.
I've always said Shaco, but I don't feel too strongly one way or another.
I think it's supposed to be Shaco, but I couldn't tell you. Maybe someone in the chat can. I don't know. I don't play him ever. Anyways, so bottom lane lockup match. Lock in. Christ. Lock in for purple team.
Don't worry, we have 3 minutes where after the champions are picked. Oh, okay, the Shaco.
And we see this fairly often, the Caitlyn and Leona. I don't know why we see it so often. It's not a very synergistic lane, but on their own, they're very...
Wait. Okay.
We'll see. Yeah,
Taric
top lane. Could be Taric top lane, yeah.
I'm right there with you. I think Caitlyn, arguably the best poke carrier you can get in the bot lane, whereas Leona wants to really go in and have somebody that can hard engage with her, and they're somewhat at odds with another. I mean, it's not terrible. You play it right, you can definitely have some huge zoning potential, but it's synergy often does help a lot in the bot lane.
Okay, I'm going to screw over this Shaco. So anyone on purple team, if you are listening to this right now, go invade. Invade that son of a bitch. He has no flash. Level 1, he has to take his boxes to clear. He can't get out of anything, especially with all the CC you have, with Vi, with Leona, with the Anivia. You can lock him down and get a kill on him, and he can't do anything after that point.
Wow, you're straight up telling them what
I know. Just because it's such an easy, it's a dead giveaway.
Feels about this.
You picked that, Shroomy. It's on you, man. Because anytime I see a Shaco that does that, it's just, okay, guess we're gonna invade, and it always works out because their team in general doesn't have a whole lot of level 1 potential anyways.
Let's talk a little bit more about that pick, though, in general. I think something that a lot of people don't understand with the Shaco or Shaco, what have you, is that his play style and his strengths are different from a lot of other junglers. Vi hits like a huge power spike when she's 6. She likes to gank, and she can get in the middle of a team fight and be really impactful. Shaco, on the other hand, is pretty impactful pretty much from the very beginning of the game, and is probably one of the scariest gankers at the start of the game. So you really got to be careful about overextending, particularly as someone who's squishy and doesn't have a lot of escapes. But keep in mind, if he does get ahead early, it's not necessarily GG. He's not going to bring that same team fight that a Vi might.
Yeah, I mean, Shaco later on just turns into more of that assassin, where AD assassin anyways. But against this team, it's going to be hard for him to really pick someone out. So the Vi is always going to be useful in the team fights, whereas the Shaco really is not. So let's talk about matchups here. Top lane, we have Maokai versus Swain. And Swain has always sort of been that good counter to the Maokai pickup. That started last season when you saw big players like Quas and I think Vivisashi was picking him up for that exact reason.
Yeah, I think it's Swain is a bit of a bully to a lot of melees, and
Hmm.
I think after with the ability to lock down and then use his ultimate, it's going to be a little bit annoying for Maokai. But nice thing about playing someone as tanky and utility based as Maokai is that as long as you're not too far behind, you'll always be really impactful in team fights.
Yeah. So we talked a little bit last game about like a lane to snowball to try to camp to try to snowball. This is your lane if you are Vi. Getting that Swain ahead and getting the Malachi behind is going to be like probably the biggest way to get your team ahead overall. Just because when Swain is ahead, he becomes unkillable, and when Malachi is behind, he can't be that frontline initiator anymore.
On the flip side of things, it's also one of the better lanes for Shaco to come in for a gank.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Ari is very mobile and is notorious for being able to evade junglers. Although she is squishy, so if you can get on her, you can burst her. Swain is a man with a cane, so if he's pushed up in top lane, he really doesn't have many opportunities to escape from a good gank.
Yeah. Yeah, it's odd that the top lane is actually going to be the point, should be the point of focus here, which it's normally not.
Mhm.
But you have to recognize that situation and react to it appropriately. So mid lane, then we have Ari versus Anivia.
I think that gives a leg up to Ari, especially in the early game. Anivia really, it's not very easy to hit that slow moving stun, especially against someone as mobile as Ari.
Hmm.
But Anivia's got a lot of team fight presence, and her ultimate definitely is a game changer once she hits level 6. I think Ari is more in a position to roam across the map than Anivia is, but I think Ari's got has to be more of a playmaker and probably will be more of the aggressor, and Anivia can honestly, just play the lane and play the team fights and go from there.
Hmm. So we talked about Shaco a little bit. Vi, like we said, top lane is going to be your focus, but coming into team fights here, it's going to be hard for you to just ult to start a fight because you look at the rest of your team comp, no one's going to be really there besides Leona to help follow up on it. I think you're going to be wanting to save your ult on Ari when she tries to engage.
That's something to
It's
keep
like,
in
yeah,
mind.
it's more like a counter engage or something.
Red team
Because
is not very mobile.
yeah, that's the thing. You want to kind of be situated more around the rest of your team. That's where the damage is going to come from. That's where you're going to stay safest.
Something to keep in mind though for the red team is that if you're able to, deny vision and maybe force an AoE engagement, you combine Swain's ultimate with a Nivea and a Leona ultimate, and that's one heck of a combo.
Hmm. Yeah. So moving on, bot lane here. We do have the Caitlyn and Leona, which we talked about, but we also have Thresh and Corki,
Hmm.
both rocking awesome skins.
I think this is I think in almost any lane, Caitlyn when played properly is going to have a leg up on her competition.
Hmm.
I think it's really up to Thresh to maybe get some good CC out or to really help take control of the lane, or Corky to hit a few good phosphorus bombs.
Hmm.
But I think if Caitlyn's able to abuse her range early, she can probably have the edge early, but maybe not get the same mid game power spike as a Corky with a Trinity Force.
Yeah, and this is where like that anti synergy. What's a good word for opposite of synergy?
We could just say
There,
lack of
there's a
synergy.
yeah, that lack of synergy in the bot lane for Caitlyn and Leona really factors in here for this bottom lane matchup because you have two ranged people, your Corki and your Thresh, that should be able to equal out the poke that Leona and that Caitlyn's able to put out on them. So that's going to be something to take into account. Host layer, you should be trying to play a little bit more forward. You have that advantage where you have the range. You can get that poke down onto either Leona or Caitlyn, and you want to stay as close to Corki as possible, because if you have your flay, you can stop Leona from engaging entirely if you're quick about it.
All right. So do you think the team's gonna follow up on what you said and
And
invade the
then
Shaker?
sometimes I don't know. We'll find out. I'm hoping like, and it's very natural for what you want to do as Thresh already. So if the lane plays out like I think it would, especially early, they should have the advantage over Caitlyn. Oh, they're not going to invade, though, if that's what you're saying. Doesn't look like it.
Yeah.
Just too bad.
Right, we got 30 seconds until minions spawn.
They really should invade. And specifically when to invade, you should invade at a minute 30. So this is a little too early. Shaco already knows you're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah, the blue team's like, fuck, they're going to invade now. We got to ward up.
The thing about invades is that you really want to commit to them right at the start of the game. If you kind of don't make up your mind right away, it gives the enemy team time to get wards out before that you can punish them.
Okay. Yeah. There are 3 different types of invades you can do. You can do an early invade to try to get a kill, and that you go in generally as quick as possible, so around 45 seconds to 1 minute. There is a invade you can do at 1:30, and that is to try to get buff control. 1:55 you can go in to try to for a late invade while the jungler is already starting, and you can also do a delayed invade after that at around 2 minutes. But yeah, they're just gonna do a normal start here. It's too bad. Lucky for you, Shaco. The other team did a good job of preventing that invade as well.
Good stun by Anivia. Seems like Corki and Thresh are pushing for the level 2.
Yep. Thresh is doing a really good job of being really aggressive. You have to keep in mind you want to stay in range of your other AD carry, because when you just get out that far, there's still a Caitlyn on the other side. She's gonna be able to poke back onto you.
I think I'm worried that Caitlyn's not going to respect the level 2. We'll see what happens here.
The hook.
Thresh is standing still. Oh, okay.
Oh man, could have gotten the hook there.
Yeah, I think even if he just ran up to like flay and zone, it would have been a bit more effective than the bush. But yeah, the hook would have been a game changer. So always try and keep in mind in almost any lane, if you're about to get a level advantage, especially level 2 or 3 over your opponent, try and position yourself to take advantage of that as soon as you get that level. Because you don't want to waste that advantage. It doesn't last very long.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Shaco first back picked up a longsword instead of getting his jungle item completed. You'll want to try to be getting your upgraded jungle item as soon as possible. It's going to help you with ganks. It's going to help you a lot with clearing the jungle, more than any longsword will.
I think when you make that kind of item and summoner spell commitment, you really have to be super aggressive. So I'm hoping to see him make some plays soon, or else he's probably going to regret making that decision.
Yeah.
I mean, even look at Anivia right now. Look how far up she is.
Anivia, the person who can't get out of a gank if she tried. So,
Looks
top
like
lane.
Shaco is actually doing just that.
Okay, let's see what happens.
But Ari needs to move up a little bit earlier. Oh, wow. Careful of the minion damage. So I think Ari, you just want to react a little bit sooner and make sure that you're able to follow up. If you had hit a good charm right before that engagement, that could have been the difference maker. Of course, you were a little bit low on mana after. Well, I think you had a little bit more before the fight, but always try and help your jungler out. They're trying to help you. It's kind of a two-way street. Ooh, the hook.
It's just really unorganized from both teams. Leona just trying to get procs off for her Targons. Thresh is trying to harass onto Caitlyn.
It almost looked like two 1v1 lanes instead of a 2v2.
That was really awkward. So in that spot, Thresh, I think, was in the right mindset. If Corki, he could have Valkyried over there and try to get the pick up on Caitlyn, because as soon as that hook landed, that could have been a guaranteed kill.
Yeah, or at least a summoner spell.
Yeah.
Ooh, that looked painful.
Ooh, Shaco, you didn't. Oh,
whoa.
God! No.
Oh, be really careful about heal baits in the bot lane.
That was a bad call.
If it,
No, you
you're
can't.
putting too much. You're
You
giving too
can't.
much opportunity for the enemy bot lane to outplay you.
Yeah.
Shaco, it's a really kind of a risky scenario.
I mean,
All right, that's a little bit better, but Corky's gonna get caught by minions.
oh boy, oh boy, oh boy! Oh my,
My
God!
Wow. Okay.
Still, at the end of the, that was still in 1-for-1, almost a 2-for-1. That was really, that was not a good idea for Shaco to be going that far. The problem with tower dives is they can see you coming in, and you don't have as much. It's hard to follow that up because you don't have your own CC.
Yeah, I completely agree, Haver. You want to avoid. You know, Shaco's a very squishy champion, and you have a very limited opportunity to like get the tower dive to work and get out. And when you're next to someone with a mountain of CC like Leona, you got to be super careful, especially this early on. I would probably advise against that.
As soon as you showed that first time that you were there, it was done. You couldn't do it.
I'm going to say about the Ahri play in the mid lane, what you just did there, yes, level 6 is an important power spike for Ahri, but it doesn't mean she can 100 to 0 to someone. It's not like, you know, you don't start with a Deathfire Grasp, and that's not even the item in the game anymore. You want to kind of whittle her down a bit, and then when you've got her down to about half health, you make that kind of play. Also, you've depleted all your mana, so it's going to be pretty tricky to deal with Anivia. She could honestly just push you to turret.
Yeah, and no one has been up top for a gank yet. It's kind of been free farming it out. And props to Maokai, he's been doing really well trying to get CS actually
he's
up.
Got a 15 farm lead on Swain. Interesting.
Oh, played the wrong way. It was a really aggressive play. I like it.
I think a lot of players struggle, and it's not necessarily easy when you're playing an AP or a tanky champion that's not like an 80 carry, you know, getting those last hits, like a Swain before he has his ultimate, getting the farm. But it's ultimately incredibly important. You still need that. That's your source of income.
Yeah, and it just comes down to really practicing with those champions.
Exactly.
Since they are so different. Oh.
It is painful to watch Ahri with no mana wanting to help.
Yeah.
She also missed the charm.
Go, Vi, just grab the scuttlebug before you go back.
Ooh, good pilt over there. But don't forget to keep auto attacking. So this is kind of comes down to what you were talking about. Oh.
Oh my! Yes!
Oh.
Oh, he didn't have the. Did he have the flay? Was that not up? Yeah, he had the flay up. You need to like immediately follow that up, and it still worked out. That was really nice.
Good hook there at the end by Thresh, but I think that is a prime example of what happens when you don't have the same lane synergy. Not to mention Caitlyn was like 5 when that started, and Corky was 6. When it came to the 1v1 scenario, we see just how much weaker Caitlyn is when she's not in her pokey role. Whereas, you know, if we had 2 champions poking down at Corky all laning phase, it could be a different story.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I just realized, like, I was looking at farm differences, and Corky.
My goodness.
Yeah. Like, oh man.
Okay, so I think at this point, when you're playing, and this is the unfortunate thing about playing someone Leona with a Caitlyn, if you're playing somebody with very little room to go all in, you kind of have to play incredibly passive for the rest of the laning phase, unless a jungler comes in, because you can't. Corky's got 2 kills. He's got a farm lead. Caitlyn really just needs to play safe and farm up.
Mm-hmm.
She's gonna be behind, and their enemy team's gonna have to deal with Corky's power spike. But it's not the end of the world.
Oh boy, Vi's screwed. Oh,
Oh,
never mind.
Vi still got it.
Gets the dragon. She'll
Level
probably just be
5
able to.
versus level 7.
Oh wait. Oh, her ult. Oh man, her ult just came back up.
Yeah, that could have been a game changer.
So I mean, it's still worth it for Vi. Got the dragon out of it.
Yeah.
She already has her
Shaco
item
had the right
upgraded.
idea there, showing up at a good time. It's just you were kind of far behind and you didn't get the last hit on the dragon.
Oh boy, Shaco the Caitlyn, she doesn't have ult yet. Never mind.
And while I still firmly believe that you should play whatever you feel comfortable and what you enjoy playing, you can see the downsides of taking someone like Shaco in this position. You're pretty far behind and you don't have that same safety net to fall back on like a Vi ultimate. So you're gonna have to try and make that up elsewhere. Hopefully you can split push really well later on into the game.
Yeah, but like you just haven't spent any time in any of the lanes really besides mid or bottom. And top's kind of been right there for you to give it a shot. In general, it's like you're just getting way too far behind in farm.
We can see the mid lane sort of panning out the way we talked about, where now that Anivia's got her ultimate, she can kind of bully back Ahri, because it's so much easier to follow up her ultimate ability with even more harass.
Yeah, swaying before any engage, you want to try to get your E off onto people, which you should be maxing, yeah.
I know we've talked about Shaco not taking advantage of it, but actually, let's see this first.
Nope.
Oh,
Oh boy. Okay, Shaco. No. Just run away.
Oh,
no,
no.
you have a buff on you.
it's
He
a
knows.
clone. It's a fake one, but
God,
yeah.
You're scaring me, buddy.
But what I was gonna say is that it would be nice if Anivia had a bit more wards because she's pushing so relentlessly in mid lane. Sure Shaco hasn't been that great with his ganks lately, but you never know what's gonna happen.
Fine, just
Even
dive under
Thresh
tower. He's right there. He's no health. You could kill him. So easy. Now, do something. Come on. Yeah. There we go. All right. Yeah, I mean, you could have started that a lot sooner.
Oh no.
But
Shaco,
still
I
worked
know,
out.
just let it go. I don't think you really are that
Nope.
much of a threat.
Yeah, just back off, go back, try to get some farm. You gotta find some way to keep yourself relevant in the game.
It's a common thing you can see in lower elos where you don't want to give up an objective. Oh, good follow up.
Corky, you gotta be closer, man.
Yeah. If you're a little bit closer, one more auto attack, that could have been it. But good hook by Thresh.
Yeah, he's been landing those relentlessly. Okay.
Yeah, and this is a continuation of what I was just trying to say. Sometimes you just have to let the objective go. It's not fun, but you run the risk of giving them not only a turret, but also an additional kill, which is going to make your situation even worse. And of course it comes down to your champion. You know, if you're playing someone like Anivia, you can defend turrets a lot longer than someone like a Shaco. And that's because of wave clear.
Okay, so Corky, you just hit a big power spike with your Trinity Force. And you just got a tower down. Now is a good time to start roaming around the map. I would almost prefer top, honestly. But, you know, since you have that big power spike, just staying in bots is not going to be helpful for the team. You need to use that power spike to your advantage, which you are. So, thank you.
Thresh has really been on point with his hooks.
Yeah. Absolutely enabling Corky. Okay, so we got Dragon up in 1 minute. Good time to be doing that. Yeah. Okay.
So I think I think the mobility issue you mentioned at the start of this game might be something, but it'd be really great if in a team fight Vi could get a tackle on Corky.
Yeah.
But of course, Corky would have to overextend to really have the rest of the team follow up.
Yeah. Shaco just keeps trying to make these big plays. And it's fine when you're ahead to be doing that, but you're way behind at this point. You need to be focusing on just trying to farm and look for better opportunities instead of trying to make them yourself.
Oh. Whoa. Okay,
Yeah, red team
coming
picking.
in.
Oh, Anivia, just go back.
Yeah, Anivia
Just go back.
doesn't even have her passive, I don't believe. Oh wait, actually,
Oh yeah, she does.
she does. Yeah, could be a bait tactic.
And Swain this whole time just pushing top.
Wow, yeah, you're right.
He actually did catch back up and farm once he hit his ult.
Yeah, I think that's what happens a lot of times when people have wave clear as their ultimates. But think about how much further ahead you'd be, Swain, if you had, you know, 100 over 100 farm right now instead of 88.
Okay. Yeah, or dead even here. Like, bottom lane's doing really well for blue team, but top lane's doing pretty well for purple.
Mid lane is really
Mid lane
getting
for
pretty
purple,
big for
yeah.
purple. Yeah.
And Nidia's been doing a really good job of like understanding her skills. Okay.
I think we talked about this before. I think it's going to come down to the engagements. Oh, Corky's in position. Oh. Can we get the tackle? Alright, I think he's probably done for. You really see just how durable Swain is when you don't have Grievous wounds on him.
Which is why I think it would have been good for Ari to be getting the Morellonomicon instead of the Athenes.
Oh, that's completely right. I understand the thought process behind it. You know, you're behind in lane against an Anivia, but
And the double AP. I mean, like,
yeah.
At the end of the day, you're doing pretty well by getting either one of them, but you're doing more for your team when you're getting the Morellonomicon.
I would definitely think, in most cases, I think you made the right call. You know, the AP, magic resist, etc. It's just Swain is just one of those weird edge cases where, you know, having Grievous wounds is a game changer.
Okay. So let's see.
Oh, can we get a tackle here?
1 turret versus 3 turret. Oh boy. Goodbye. That was a lot, Leona, that you just burned onto Thresh. You didn't have to burn the exhaust. It would have been better to save that for the upcoming team fight so you can put it down onto Ari.
It's also
or
worth noting
someone
that
else.
the exhaust is primarily used for the damage reduction and the attack speed slow, not like as another form of slowing someone down.
Yeah.
So if you think about it, that's not going to make that big of a difference for Thresh, which is exactly what Heather was talking about. Especially because Corky is such a threat right now.
Yeah, he's at a really big power spike. He doesn't have any mana right now, though. But wow, like his farm is fantastic.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
that's a huge thing. We talked about this last game. Farm is just like kills; it gives you more gold, and then when you have both, it's even
Yeah.
better.
Oh boy.
Good job by Anivia.
And the fight was already over at that point for Ari. So just kind of greedy going in for kills. If it was just Anivia, you could have possibly justified that, but from where you were, with the rest of the team still around, it wouldn't have worked out.
So unlike the last game where it was a lot of tankiness and then just map rotations, this game we have one player on each team that's carrying a lot of the team's damage in a team fight.
Yeah.
So you want to think about if you're on the team with Corky, try and keep him alive. And same aspect when you have an Anivia on your team.
Mm-hmm.
If you're able to keep them alive and doing damage throughout a team fight, they can turn the fight in your favor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, if red team's playing their team right, all they have to do is stand in one place and let the blue team come to them.
Yeah.
They have a lot of AoE damage that just gets put down between Swain and Anivia.
And that can also be greatly benefited by some good vision control. If you're able
Yeah.
to lock down an area with a sweeper and then maybe bait them in before a dragon or whatnot, that can be push you over the edge.
Mm-hmm. I like that Shaco's been going off and just trying to get some farm for himself, which he really needs at this point. But at this point in the game, you need to be taking wards with you.
Yeah.
You're playing like a very dangerous game, and not only for yourself, but for your team.
It was actually very good of Shaco to get onto the Anivia there.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Okay.
And with 15 seconds on that dragon to spawn, that's a really big win for the blue team there.
Yeah, because red team was not able to start that fight as 5, they were just the 3 of them. Blue team was able to get the picks out to start. So Caitlyn, you've been down in CS, but you need to start grouping with your team. Especially once you already have the Infinity Edge, you're able to then start making a bigger impact in team fights to the point where you need to be there with them. So, okay. So, this dragon gonna be going over to blue team. Which they have really great control on that side of the map for vision as well.
Will Leona commit to an engage? Looks like she might want to.
Okay.
Yeah. Honestly, what happened there was that... Actually, it's not over yet.
Yeah, like we said this, and we're gonna keep saying it. Blue team's power comes from just being together. And any time that, sorry, I meant red team. Red team.
Yeah.
And anytime blue team's able to disrupt that by getting a pick, they can start winning these team fights like they have.
Like when Leona was able to pull the rest of that team back on top of her, and kind of clump them together. If Anivia was in position to follow up right away,
Yeah.
maybe they could have swung that fight differently. But you need the damage and the CC to go work together with one another.
Yeah, I think Swain, you should be going for Zanya's second, not Deathcap.
Yeah, I completely agree. That's a huge item on Swain.
Yeah, when you're Swain, you get plenty of damage already from the items that you're defensively building, from Zonia's and then through your item that is Spirit Visage. That's the item, Spirit Visage. Because there is plenty of AP damage on the other team, and it increases your healing as well. You want to be more of that durable damage over time DPS carry rather than the burst, because Swain doesn't have that.
So we've talked a bit about Caitlyn, and I just wanted to quickly jump back to some of the early game stuff. You know, if you're picking someone like Caitlyn, you really want to work on your poke and getting a poke advantage early. And I think that's an area you can improve upon going forward. But we got a team fight here.
And they're all 4 together. Sorry, Anivia is in the mid lane.
Swain is getting a lot of damage out, but now he's getting exhausted. The rest of his team is gone.
And Anivia died in the mid lane to the Shaco. Okay. Anivia needed to be there for that.
Yeah, there's some low health champions there. That could have swung completely differently.
So, like, say even if you did kill the Shaco, no problem. The damage that you put onto Shaco could have been better used to put onto the other 4. Because you have such a lead. You're 8-2 and 3. You're probably the most fed member on your own team. Yeah. By a large margin, actually. So you need to be trying to exert your pressure and help your own team instead of trying to farm solo kills, which didn't actually happen there.
Anivia is definitely one of those champions that works best with the team, and that's where you want to be in most scenarios. So like Haber's saying, don't get caught, chasing after a Shaco or being too separated. Your team really needs you right now more than ever.
Yeah, it's interesting how much this game is just starting to go out of control for Red Team, out of situations that they could have very easily prevented.
Yeah.
If they were working a little bit more together as a team. And it's difficult in solo queue, especially, but when your team comp is so well defined, like it is in this situation, you need to be communicating that with your team.
Yeah, I think they need to get a really good engagement, and I think Vi needs to get on top of Corki. And maybe Vision's the way they're going to get that. I wouldn't count them out, but I'd say that they need to get a proper engagement to really turn this around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy. Swain couldn't even activate his ultimate.
Oh.
Ooh, the positioning. They're clumped.
Yep, they are missing half of their damage.
That is... So that engagement, unfortunately, you guys separated from one another in the jungle. It was actually exactly the type of fight that Anivia wanted. It's just that by the time the fight happened, it was already over.
Yeah. Blue Team's been doing a really good job of trying to get vision control and getting picks, which is what their team really needs to be doing. So, okay. Dragon's up in 15 seconds. It's going to be really hard to try to push this turret. You're best off just trying to back off and going for Dragon. Especially against Anivia. You're not going to siege that turret.
That's very true.
And Dragon's live.
They've got a lot of map control. They could really just go straight
Dragon's
to the dragon.
live.
Although it doesn't seem like they're going to be in position to respond to Shaco and bot either.
Okay, just get Dragon, guys. Just get Dragon. The tower will still be there. Okay. Red Team can't fight this anyways.
Anivia coming from the side. Oh, and the hook.
Yeah.
couple good hooks from Thresh in that fight
Yeah,
really
it's
were
just almost sad. Because, like, red team should have been winning there. Like, if you asked me, like, 10 minutes ago, red team should have been winning, just judging by their team comp. But they're not playing their team comp. They're just trying to play
Dragon
solo
is
queue.
still live. I think they're finally going for it. Oh, they're going for the blue first. Yeah, I see what you're saying. They've got the team fight if they can just get that fight.
I mean, it may just be snowballing out of their control by this point, down by 9k.
Corki is very, very strong right now.
Absolutely.
If Corki doesn't get caught in the combo, or at least doesn't get CC'd or exhausted, it's very unlikely that Red's going to pull ahead of enough team fight. And as Corki, you want to make sure you don't face check or get caught, because you should understand just how important you are to your team right now.
Okay. Oh, there, we got it.
Maokai going in. His team
Red
is
team,
not
no.
there.
Leona, no. No.
Ooh.
Okay. So, at this point in the game, Leona, what you want to be doing is peeling. You're not ahead. The only time where you really should be trying to engage is when you're ahead and your team can follow up. That's not the case in either way right now. Your team cannot follow up on anything that you do. You're not ahead. You're better off just trying to peel for your Caitlyn or for your Anivia. Because, I mean, you just dived in the backline and died straight away.
Yeah, I'd say a common theme in a lot of these fights is just not knowing, not following up on each other's engagements. And whether it's pinging or typing in chat, just try and make sure you're as clear as possible that I'm going in, I want you guys to follow up with me.
I might as well just ult the wave. Okay. So 33 minutes in, after like 20 minutes or when Baron spawns, there needs to be at least someone keeping a ward on it or Scuttlebug. Especially when you have this lull right here and you know that it could be a possibility in the next engage, Leona, you need to be trying to get some wards around the area. It's just thinking forward to like that next
Definitely.
thing that's going to be happening. It's like, okay, this team fight just happened. What's going to be happening next? What can we look forward to try to do?
Red team is significantly further behind. They have to play it a bit more careful, unlike what Leona's doing right now. Oh boy. Oh. Nivea, careful, you're still pretty far up.
And it wasn't the real one. Nice, Anivia. See, that's the damage you could be putting out in all those other engagements had the team been, you know, all together.
Yeah.
That was a little goofy.
Be careful flashing around those big rocks. Yeah, and I completely agree, Haber. Anivia can dish out a ton of damage in a team fight as long as you can just get that engagement. I mean, Red is incredibly far behind, and what I was trying to say before the engagement is that if they can play safe and then maybe get a miracle engagement, maybe by a bush or baiting or near a Baron or whatever, then maybe they've still got a shot in this. But they should really avoid just taking engagements openly.
Yeah. Yeah, Leona's been very... very aggressive, I guess.
Yeah.
Without many wards on the map. Like, I think she doesn't even have all her sights zoned out.
We talked at the start about,
no.
you know, Vi needs to make sure she doesn't go in too far ahead of her team. But honestly, we're seeing a lot out of Leona as well. There you can see Ignite was pretty helpful.
Yeah, just... yeah, he's at that point where he can start assassinating some people right now, and they are ahead.
I'm pretty impressed that Shaco was able to turn around that early game.
Yeah, and it's because he stopped doing those very questionable dives and
That's very true.
stuff. Yeah, at some point you have to realize, okay, I can't make the plays that I want to be making. I had to make a change and start trying to farm or look for other objectives that are more available. And they could use some more wards on the map, but they're not doing awful for ward control for blue team.
So it seems like they're trying to have Shaco buy time for a Baron.
I don't know if that's what they're intending, but it definitely could have been something to do. Yeah.
If it was something they were planning on doing, they should have all moved by now. Shaco, split pushing, the beauty of it is really punishing the enemy team once they get out of position. But if they're already in position to respond to you, it's very difficult to just get a turret.
Yeah, if they're already, the 4 are there versus you, you've already won. You don't have to keep pushing at that point, as long as the rest of your team is making a move based on what's going on.
Oh,
okay.
Seems like we've got a pause.
Pause coming in.
A summoner has disconnected.
Oh.
That's no good. Okay.
Somebody toss him a lantern.
Yeah, man, need to get him back in here. We only got a little bit left in this game, I think. As soon as that, like, inhibitor turret gets breached, which is gonna, I mean, as long as Anivia is alive, it's gonna be really hard to do. So you have to recognize that, like, Anivia's strong point, you're at strong point as Anivia is anti-sieging turrets. So you want to try to get wards out where you can and try to stay safe. So, because if they pick you off outside of your base, they can then have free reign inside of your base.
Yeah. 30 seconds on Dragon coming.
Okay. So that'll be drag.
It's really going to get harder and harder for Red. If they were to lose an inhib turret, Shaco is very scary at his backdoor potential, and they'd probably have to babysit that for the rest of the game.
Caitlyn's still bottom right now.
10 seconds on drag. Seems like they might want a Baron instead.
Yeah, Shaco's not there yet.
Red team is getting in position to respond. I would say that in that situation, you gotta be really careful starting it when the enemy team knows you're there.
Yeah, especially with the team that purple team does have.
I like the thought process there. Sit on the pink for a bit, see if they get thirsty for it. But they ultimately didn't take the bait. It's honestly what I wanted to see more out of the red team.
What's that?
Just, you know, pink wards and catching people out. Alright. By getting caught. Whoa. Egg, Nivea. Yeah.
Caitlyn zoned out of that entirely.
It's looking like this is the end here. I guess they're gonna get Baron first.
Now is not a good time for you guys to Baron. Like, you have that chance now that Inivi's down to be shoving in any of the lanes. Like, take that shot, because it's going to be, even with Baron, you don't have a banner of command. So Inivi is going to be able to clear away the minions fairly easily still.
It's also worth noting that when you're playing someone like Vi, and you're this far behind, and the enemy team has really strong attack damage, you probably want a little bit more. Now you're getting a Randuin's, but you have the Warrior Enchantment and a Black Cleaver.
Which she had, like, when they were still ahead. It's been a really hard, like, the past 20 minutes, I think, she's just been working. Well, yeah, like, 15 minutes, she's just been working on that Randuin's Omen.
We could see how, like, when Thresh grabbed her in that last fight, like, she went down real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And really, Thresh has been on point with his grabs for almost the entire game, and that's really been a huge thing for the blue team.
Oh boy. Close. Close.
Alright, so with the Baron minions, it looks like blue is preparing for a siege. Red really has to make some miracle happen.
Yep, they see Shaco's not down there. They could engage. They're gonna just staggered engage again.
I got onto Corki, but Corki is probably gonna get out and go back to doing damage. Yeah.
They're just not very organized when they're going in. Like, they had 2 times where they tried to engage, and if they were able to just all engage at the same time there, I think this could have gone better for them.
And Shaco's taking inhibs.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
I'm not sure why they're trying to chase Corki here.
Red team's inhibitor has been destroyed.
And they just lost 2 inhibitors for that.
Oh! I mean, it's pretty irrelevant at this stage, but it looked cool.
Yeah, look cool, that's right.
Alright, so at this point, you know, you've got 2 inhibs down on the enemy team. Blue team really can just wrap this up by working together.
Yeah, I mean, it's still over a 10k gold lead. This game's now just wide open now that there's 2 inhibitors down. I'm trying to think of things to say here, but it really feels like we're just waiting for the end of the game at this point.
Yeah, it's one of these situations where, like, red team would have to wave clear for the next few minutes, and then blue team would have to have several people get caught, and then they'd need to win like 2 more team fights before they'd have a realistic shot of turning this around.
Oh, nice wall. Okay.
Not sure if that vial was necessary.
No. Because now that's down.
It's without that ult. It's
Can they make something out
Oh,
of it,
nice
though?
blind Zenith.
Yeah, they
Although
need
I
to
don't
send
think
people
anyone
back.
can tackle him.
Okay, Swain is going back. Good. Oh, nice hook.
That actually stalls the back on the wave clear champ, so that's pretty good. And yeah, you can see they didn't even go that far out of their base, and they're already getting overrun by minions.
Yep, it was down. Okay.
So when you're in blue's position here, one thing you can do is you can really just group up at the last remaining turret and inhib, and you can just kind of stall it out and let them attack into you if they are desperate, because they are desperate. If they,
Yeah.
the longer you wait, the more the minions will create pressure for you.
Yeah, it's definitely like you're creating a no-win scenario for the red team at that point.
See, like right here, they back off, and now the minions get a little bit closer. Shaco able to just calmly take the dragon.
Mm-hmm.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
Corky should probably not be out alone up here, but yeah. The rest of his team should just be with Corky.
Red team's turret has been destroyed.
Alright, one final engage to end this.
You say that.
It's all it's gonna take.
Alright, 3 inhibs down. Wow, that Anivia. It's really a shame that it got to this point, because that was really nice Anivia damage there. But you can only do so much at this stage. Caitlyn can just kill the Shaco if he autoed him, but oh well.
Man, they're so low.
Doesn't really matter.
Like, you see even now, like, how low the rest of the team is? If they would have been grouping like this last team fight, can you imagine how big they could have been going earlier on?
Yeah.
So, I mean, that just goes to show you really need to be focusing on what your team can do and playing to those strengths.
Certainly.
So everybody, thanks for playing today in Bronze Boot Camp. That's all of our 3 games. We're going to get those uploaded here later on today. You can check on YouTube, or they'll already be up on Twitch. Yeah, and we'll see you next week. Don't forget to go and sign up on the sign-up sheet. Thanks, everyone, for playing, and have a good day.
See ya.